In a world where sports and movement have become a vital necessity, more and more people are prone to sports injuries. Each year, there are approximately 8.6 million sports injuries, with 2.6 million of those requiring medical attention. More alarming is that of this proportion, the majority of people brush their injuries off as innocuous. Additionally, with a plethora of sources online, it is often misleading to seek accurate guidance digitally. In fact, over 70% of people have been exposed to medical health misinformation, with more than 50% of those exposed reported not confident in differentiating between true health information and misinformation. Now, this is where the problem comes in. Through a combination of inexperience, lack of awareness of immediate injury remedies, and fake news online, two major problems are created: the development of chronic injuries and a slow delayed recovery progress. Therefore, we present to you Rhythmo AI. Rhythmo is a software that integrates generative AI to support dancers and athletes in reducing the risk of developing chronic injuries and minimizing slow delayed recovery progress. Rhythmo does this by guiding users in identifying their sports injury early on efficiently, lay out clear, accurate information on immediate remedies, and provide suggestions on when to seek professional advice. To gather user information to help them effectively self-identify their sports injury, Rhythmo will be based on a Q&A-styled input-output system where users input their sports injury details in response to 17 selectively proposed questions. Upon processing the user's data, Rhythmo's algorithm will then deduce top 3 potential sports injuries for the user, with information on immediate remedies specific to each injury, as well as suggestions on when to seek a professional. Now, to explain further on how Rhythmo achieves its function, we first manually researched around 5 sports injuries ranging from the ankle, shoulder, to leg. Then we used artificial intelligence to populate similarly structured research but for 127 plus sports injuries common in dancers and athletes. With this data, we then reached out to medical professionals to help us cross-check the accuracy, reliability, and efficiency of our data. Key types of AI technology that currently builds the fundamentals to Rhythmo's software are large language models, retrieval augmented generation, cosine similarity, and hide retrieval. Rhythmo AI is the future of telehealth, and to truly bring it to life, we welcome your recognition and encouragement. Reveal, repair, reignite. Look out for Project Rhythmo AI. A week, 2 weeks, 5 months later? What's so important about diagnosing your sports injury early? Well, to many people, the small intervals of time between when an injury occurred to when it's diagnosed may not alarm them to be a problem. However, what seems like a few days to months apart can actually drastically change your life and recovery journey. There is so much more to simply the time in between, such as how your body begins to change and how the tissues and strength of your muscles adapt. Hello and welcome back to the Rhythmo AI video series. Today we'll discuss what sets a few days apart from a lifetime of rehab. In other words, the dire consequences of delayed diagnosis in sports injuries. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Delayed diagnosis can exacerbate injuries, turning acute conditions into chronic problems. For example, a minor ankle sprain, if ignored, can lead to chronic instability and even arthritis. Similarly, a small stress fracture can become a complete fracture if not addressed promptly. According to a study in the Journal of Athletic Training, 60% of athletes who delay treatment for minor injuries experience prolonged recovery times and an increased risk of chronic issues. The progression from an acute to a chronic condition can significantly impact an athlete's career and quality of life. And as always, I'm a great example of this. As an amateur to sports injuries before, I wasn't aware of how serious my ankle sprain actually was, and was unsure on how to initially approach it. Since my injuries prior were all minor incidents, I similarly brushed this ankle sprain off. My lack of knowledge of immediate remedies for the swelling and bruising around my ankle, as well as my lack of understanding on how to appropriately conduct self-pain assessments, led me along a confused, dismissive path, not consulting a doctor for an alarming time, even if it was just a few weeks after the accident. I thus continued to train competitively in netball and dance, which exacerbated the injury, resulting in an even severed ligament tear in my right ankle, which ultimately required surgery and extensive rehabilitation. Therefore, this illustrates the importance of early intervention to prevent injuries from escalating into more serious conditions. Moreover, this is also where the Rhythmo technology comes in, to guide similar amateurs of sports injuries to make educated and informed decisions on immediate first aids and next steps to amplify their recovery journey. Now you may be wondering, What exactly is entailed when I mean escalating the injury further? And if I don't participate in movement-based activities, then wouldn't I just not escalate it further? Well, untreated injuries can severely impact performance whenever one goes back to it, simply from these onset effects: reduced mobility, decreased strength, and loss of endurance. That goes a long way to one's whole progress and perhaps professionalism in a sport. Additionally, if the pain and swelling is not treated appropriately, it will limit movement, whilst ongoing pain can affect overall performance and stamina. In fact, a study published in the American Journal of Sports Medicine found that athletes with untreated injuries showed a significant decline in performance matrix compared to those who received timely treatment. For example, a professional marathon runner with untreated tendonitis might find their running speed and endurance significantly impaired, affecting their competitive performance and training routines. Yet beyond just the physical impacts, the psychological impact of delayed diagnosis is also significant. Athletes often face anxiety and depression due to prolonged pain and reduced performance. The fear of re-injury can also affect confidence and mental well-being. These psychological tolls from simply a delayed diagnosis is moreover backed by a study in the Journal of Sports Sciences, which highlights that over 40% of athletes with chronic injuries suffer from mental health issues, underscoring the need for early diagnosis and treatment. Thus, psychological support and counseling are often necessary components of comprehensive injury management. Okay now, enough of so much negative factual yapping. So how exactly can we identify sports injuries early on and effectively evaluate the seriousness of the condition? Well, recognizing the signs and using self-assessment tools can prevent injuries from becoming even greater major problems. Let's start with the early signs and symptoms you should watch out for. Early detection is vital, and that comes from listening and trusting your own body. Look out for persistence or sharp pain during or after activity, swelling around joints or muscles, reduced range of motion, and sudden loss of strength in a specific area. By being self-aware and intervening early in such cases, the National Institute of Health says that it can significantly reduce recovery time and prevent chronic issues. Furthermore, another common sign to watch out for is muscle soreness that doesn't subside after a few days of rest, which likely indicates a possible strain or tear. However, even if your symptom isn't included in what I've already mentioned, tracking your performance is also a great indicator as recommended by the American College of Sports Medicine. This is because early signs of injuries often include subtle changes in performance, especially related to decreased speed and endurance. Using these self-assessment techniques to visually monitor your condition is crucial to understanding your body better and being intuitive in your sports injury recovery. What makes a great pair to this is a more mobility-focused self-assessment method, which includes techniques such as palpation to identify tender spots, range of motion tests to compare the mobility of the injured part with the non-injured part, and strength tests to check for strength discrepancies between limbs. These, although may seem simple methods, can help you catch potential issues early on. This concept is also in fact supported by the British Journal of Sports Medicine, who recommends regular self-assessments to identify and address minor injuries before they become even more serious. Therefore, in a world with ever more advancing technology, innovations such as Rhythmo AI can aid in such early diagnosis, where self-intuitiveness goes hand in hand with AI. Our app, Rhythmo, embeds an AI classification in our software to support the analysis of symptoms and movement patterns, providing professionally, medically checked insights and recommendations, offering a personalized advice for injury prevention and management. Timely diagnosis and treatment of sports injuries are thus crucial to avoid these severe consequences. Now, the next time you're faced with a sports injury, just think, is the few days, 2 weeks of waiting really worth all the significant changes to my body? And what seems like a few days can make drastic changes to your long-term health and plans. Reveal, Repair, Reignite, Rhythmo AI. I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for more.